Guys, for once, things are going according to plan. I love it when a plan comes together. Money showed up just in time from the fundraiser, so we got the units paid off, the storage units paid off, and actually a little bit left over. Emphasis on little, because we still got to eat for the rest of the month. But that's really all we got to worry about at this point. 'Cause that's a biggie, but it's only eating. The cat is fine. He's got food at the wazoo. We got a problem though. So, as always, PayPal, Patreon down below. In genre news, the Orville will finally be back in 2018. Barely. Like the night before right before New Year's Eve. I think the 29th that would be. Or 30th? Yeah, probably the 30th actually. It'll be back. Mainly because Fox has the rights now to Thursday Night Football this season. So rather than play games like CBS did with moving Big Bang Theory all around, they're just going to hold off on Orville until the Thursday Night Football's run its course, then bring it back. And they want that Thursday night slot for that show because it's been good for the show and good for Fox because they haven't done much on Thursday nights. And then there might be one more week where it's on a Sunday following the football game. But I think it's a playoff game at that point. But then it's back on the Thursday night slot, picking up where I left off with the one series, the episode they held off from last season about Mortis and Clayton and their issues. It's supposed to be a rather raw one, so. And other news, the trailer dropped for Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, the Queen biopic with Rami Malek as Freddie. He nails it. He's got Freddie down cold. They carried quite a bit. They're showing in the 70s and the long hair thing up through at least Live Aid, because they showed that, recreating that in the Wembley show. So that should be good. I wonder if they still held the plan of killing off Freddie halfway through the movie, because somehow that's why Sacha Baron Cohen parted company, because you don't kill off your main character halfway through in this situation. Because you go for victory. Nobody really cares what happens after Freddie died, okay? I'm not sure there's really much to say about it, though, except the fan range, because the Paul Rogers period, yeah, okay, I like Paul Rogers, but I never pictured him as Queen. And Adam Lambert, okay, please. I think they should have hired George Michael, but that's another issue. Unfortunately, he's no longer an option. So. But yeah, that's going there. And apparently, Solo is doing okay in audience reaction. The reviews of Rotten Tomatoes are mixed, but then Rotten Tomatoes is like that's Discovery's still doing like 83% on that, and the audience reaction to that is a better indicator. It's down like 56% on Discovery. So that's what's going on there. And thanks for all the comments on the Klingon thing. I'm trying to think of more essay type things on that. But yeah, I think for the most part, Discovery's unfixable though. You can deal with the Klingon issues because you really got to get them somewhere. And if you really got to have these mushmouth, latex-headed Klingworks, okay. Yeah, we can say that these were the last gasp of a very primitive race of Klingon. Until the friendly and the smoothheads and the ridge came in and just squashed them all. Or like I said, someone comes up behind Burrell, knocks her on the head, presses their thumb to the pad. Long live the Empire! Blow up the planet, start over. Steam clean the entire planet of these idiots, and then come back in and rebuild. Might be just what Kronos needed—a good steam cleaning. God knows it smells like that. As for the ship designs, there is no redeeming those guys, okay? Not just the way they did the Enterprise, but just this. No, okay? No. Most of those ships, if it was post-Voyager, would be fine. The Shenzhou especially, it'd be a great design. Post-Voyager. Pre-TOS, no way in hell. And the thing is, you got designers on there who freaking know better, okay? But they're taking this mandate of, well, we couldn't do it like they did back in the 60s. No one's saying to do it like they did back in the 60s, except the designs. You don't need to build it the way they did, or because they knew the TV was gonna pick up that level of detail. Now they do, so you just build it with more detail. But you keep the damn designs. pig-headed little designers think they're better than they're too cool for school. You're doing a prequel. You are not smarter than the material. Okay, just get that out of your heads right now. There's a reason why you're doing a prequel to a pre-existing show. That show's got the following. They warrant it. So you better be faithful to it, guys. Any show, Unless you're doing a complete and total reboot like they did with Galactica, they made no bones about that. That was just a complete reboot. There was no trying to continuation on any of that. They had little homages here and there, Easter eggs for the hardcore fans, but there was no pretense of it being a continuation or a prequel or anything of the original show. It was a complete and total reboot. And based on that, you got a few grumblings, but for the most part, you take it on its own merits. And if Discovery wants to be taken seriously, they should do the same thing. Just say it's a reboot. We might revisit the original timeline, but this is a reboot of something else.
Then you got the prequel to the reboot, Caprica.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's still in that reboot universe. You can play with it all you want. And that's the one thing that JJ did more or less right with his version. It is an alternate timeline, therefore a quasi-reboot. So they're not necessarily beholden to all that. That being said, because they said they didn't want to be holding all the previous canon, they sure are referencing it a lot, aren't they? For a bunch of writers who don't want to be bound by the previous, records, they are citing it more than entire seasons of the other shows. In fact, most of them went out of their way to not reference it. Next Gen barely acknowledged the original series existed for the first couple of years. I mean, the grand total of references is like you had an old Admiral McCoy in the pilot, and the ripoff of the Naked Time they did. The Naked Now, and even then, originally they had the wrong ship on the graphic. They had the refit Enterprise on there. I think they fixed that in the remastered version. But that was like they went out of their way to it. They didn't even want the most you saw. They had a Vulcan in the background type of thing. Dr. Solar didn't show up till like second season, I think.
And then Sark.
And Sark wasn't until way in there, like season 5. That was they got their own footing going before they felt even comfortable acknowledging the original series. But these guys, it's like every 5 minutes, so they're trying to throw a little reference to the original series somewhere in there. Again, I think for a show that supposedly wants to be totally free of all that baggage, why do you keep bringing it up? Of course, the original show didn't bring it up that much because they were still making it at the time. Next Gen, again, it took a couple of years before they referenced anything of it. And same with all the other shows. DS9 didn't do the Trial and Tribulation until like the third season. And that was because it was 30th anniversary coming up. Same thing with Voyager. And the thing is, they kind of botched it up because I get the impression they didn't watch more than the first 5 minutes of Star Trek 6. Because the timeline of when Praxis blew up and when there was a response. No, there was 6 months that went by there, guys. It wasn't like 10 minutes. But that one you can explain away as Tuvok's memories being screwed around with by the aliens, so he misremembered it. It's a cheap one, but it works. But that's about where we stand here. So I'll try to think of some other stuff to go on about, because I think people want kind of know more than just rants. Yeah, ship designs are redeemable for frankly. In fact, I need to remember if when I do my little protest fleet of the Europa, the Shenzhou, the Discovery, the Glen, to make sure that when I do a little, because I'm going to be making them out of old AMT 18-inch AMT kits. Because one thing you can argue, it is screen accurate to the Constellation, the original version of the Doomsday Machine, because that was an old 18-inch AMT model. And with the registry number on that, you can say that's the previous class before the Enterprise, before the Constitution. So get all those numbers well below 1700, like 12s and 10s and stuff, and there we go. I just remember to make sure to put the spikes on the nacelles and the big, well, it's already got big deflector in it. But make sure, put spikes on there and flat engine backs, and there we go. In fact, I'll put in the model kind of whatever kind I want up and say Prime Universe USS Discovery. I think the point will be made. Anyway, PayPal, Patreon, Cafe Press down below, and coffee, and also working on a Shopify thing. What was it? Interstellar Imports. Interstellar is intentionally misspelled ER on the end of it, so when that goes up, please, no corrections, Nazi grammars, no grammar Nazis. And we're looking some pretty nifty stuff on there. So when that gets fully active, I'll put post links on that one and get you going on that way. In the meantime, stay tuned. We're getting there, guys. Hopefully, again, barring any more unforeseen disasters coming up at us, we should be on the road sometime on the 1st. And I'll do a video on the way, a little Top Gear review of the car as we're driving. So, catch you later.